Okay, so I've released the first video. It wasn't really a first episode. It was a bit of an explanation as to my difficulty coming to terms with public thinking, whether I should be walking, whether I should be sitting in front of a desk with a mic. If you watch the video, you probably realise initially I'm not going to be sitting in front of a mic. So I've come up with a strategy that keeps me away from having to do that for at least the first few episodes. But in this first episode, I'd like to delve right back to the beginning in terms of what motivated me to work remotely or to be a remote operator, and what skills I felt that I would need working away from my physical business, whether it be the other side of the world or whether it be somewhere in Europe just 2 or 3 hours away. There's a difference, by the way. If you're working in New Zealand, which I have done for many years, you're 11, 12, 13 hours away from in a different time zone, so you're actually way ahead. The type of work that you're doing tends to be a lot more responsive as opposed to firefighting with customers, suppliers, that sort of thing, or anything else. It really is kind of a reactive type of position, unless you're involved with a website, which is obviously development, design, search engine optimization. And while I'm on that point, before I moved away, I identified those skill sets that I would need to learn, which would enable me to earn and support the business and save the business money whilst I'm overseas. So I identified that I was spending a lot of money at the time on pay-per-click advertising, about £15,000 a month. I was one of the early adopters of pay-per-click advertising, particularly in the education field that I started in, and I swiftly saw the cost per click go from literally just a few pence per click through to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, £10. I saw that coming. So combined with wanting to learn search engine optimization, I wanted to save the company money because I could foresee some real problems, a real bubble burst in just a matter of a couple of years. So my first skill that I wanted to learn was search engine optimization. Over the years, I've become what I would call an internal SEO. I'm not a trained SEO. Everything I've learned is through research on YouTube, books, and other platforms. And more recently, AI. AI is quite amazing if you know how to question and you know how to structure a website in the first place. That led me on to exposure to different types of web platforms. I've worked with several. I work with WordPress on one of my largest websites. We built a custom CRM backend, so we really use WordPress as the content management system. In more recent years, I've heavily been involved in creating Shopify websites. I have a rather large website that I've spent the last 2 to 3 years building on a day-to-day basis. I probably spend 3-4 hours a day, not just building the site but the content. So for me, I identified that I could bring some of those skills in-house, completely relinquish having to pay SEO consultants or optimizers, and just turn to them when I really kind of needed their help on maybe a site architecture or some sort of issues with extensive search, duplicate content resolution. Our sites have tens of thousands of courses or products, if you were. So bringing that in-house saved a lot of money, not just on outsourcing to SEO people, but also on the pay-per-click side. After approximately 2 years of taking search engine optimization on, we were making as much profit as we were using pay-per-click advertising. Now the downside of it was you're dealing with less customers, so you're not gathering as much information as many clients. And the negative side of that is if you want to market to future clients, or you want to approach them about other types of products or courses, you're obviously dealing with a lot less data. However, the offset was the fact we became less of a busy fool. When I say busy fool, at its worst point, we were spending almost 3 weeks of every 4 paying off Google advertising costs, and then we were making money in the 4th week. We were making good money in the 4th week, but to spend 3 weeks of every month paying an advertising bill is pretty phenomenal. So they're just a couple of ideas of maybe thinking about the types of skill sets that you currently have and what you may need, depending on how you're going to work remotely, where you're going to work remotely, and what you can contribute to the business working remotely.